Hey everybody, and welcome back to Investment Honey, where we talk about various crypto projects. Before we begin, just want to give you the reminder, as always, that I'm not your financial advisor and I never provide any investment advice on this channel. So with that being said, if you're new, thanks so much for joining us. Make sure you go ahead and you check out day one's video so that you can go ahead and get the introductions out of the way and see how things are going to flow throughout the video. And then if you are somebody that's been with us, either from the very beginning or joined us somewhere along the way, continue to say thank you. So appreciative of your continued support and loyalty to not only following the channel, but just keeping up with the series. So today's video is not going to be very long. So I've got some things I need to go ahead and get to as soon as I'm done recording. But what we will do, because we're not going to go ahead and really do much in the way of review, really anything in the way of the review. I looked through the filters, or the alerts, didn't really see anything that was kind of jumping out to me as far as, something to go ahead and look into as far as the review. So we're just going to go ahead and really stay in discovery mode today. But with that being said, we're going to start out here with Elon Coin. I went ahead and I found this one last night, obviously through Dexscreener. And so I think I found this one somewhere around above 200K, and then I was watching it. I posted it to X, and I saw this one retrace, to like the 100, K arena. So this one has had some, definite retracement. It is a CTO. So you can see, you got retracement down at these levels, and I mean, they've been grinding it out, and they've been continuing to go ahead and move, on this particular token. They're doing raids in the community. The community is engaging with the raids. I mean, they're trying to go ahead and push this one, so obviously we got the Elon name associated with it, so that's always going to go ahead and bring some attention. But I do like what they're doing, in terms of continuing to try to push. But as always, what do we know? We know that you need money to go ahead and get more marketing, more exposure, so I don't know what they're planning to do in terms of building up funds, but I did want to at least put this one on your radar. This is one I've been watching, since yesterday, and they continue to move. So, and then I also posted, I posted a token this morning that I found, using Dexscreener on X, and it was Trumpverse, so just be aware that I like to remind you guys, I'm not only just posting, videos, but I've also got that main Telegram channel, the Crimson's Calls. And that link is in the description, as always, in every video. So make sure that you go ahead and check out that channel, because I also go ahead and make posts there and on X. So the X are the a bit more risky, tokens that I go ahead and post there, because they're just tokens I really don't know a whole lot about. But they're bottom calls or looking for reversals, or as they say in crypto, they're gambles, So, but either way, if you are interested in that, make sure that you check out those channels. So, but this is Elon Coin. Again, I like what's going on here with the chart. I've told you guys, when it comes to CTOs can be hit and miss, so just be aware of that, regarding the CTOs. We will go ahead and take a look at the channel. So I think I've already got that pulled up, but give me a second, okay? All right, so I was able to go ahead and pull up their channel. So just want to go ahead and take you through. We just got a buy, they just came in, so sitting at 193K. Again, this did dip all the way down to 100K. I think it might have even slipped under 100K. Here's another buy that came in. So, I mean, there is some activity, that's going on. Now, you also have to keep in mind, anything that's Elon, associated, anything that's the inauguration associated, Trump associated, you got the inauguration coming up literally in less than 4 days, or basically in 4 days. So, this is a token that, personally, I think might not be a bad idea just to go ahead and keep an eye on, because you do have that narrative. He is associated with the new administration, and there is a possibility, you guys already know, I'm not in the business of telling you that it will or won't, move in terms of the needle on the market cap. I don't obviously do that. I just tell you what I see. But I think that because it is associated, with obviously somebody's associated with the current incoming administration, that it does have potential, to move. So it's a possibility, right? Because that's always my caveat whenever we talk about tokens. Tell you that it could, unless I know definitively, like when I talk about the tops of a candle, on a token, that charts always go up and they always come down. That is something that I can say definitively, because it's just a fact. They will never continue to just move up forever unless you're stuck in a honeypot, and in that case, it's a scam. So just be mindful that, hey, this might not be a bad one to take a look at. I mean, even now, just sitting here in the channel, it's moved from 193 to 215, and you've already seen the chart. Obviously, It was a lower level, yesterday, and it's continued to go ahead and move, and there's been a good balance between the buys and the sells. Now, looking at their raid here, and they've been doing raids, I found this, yesterday, but they've continued to go ahead and do the raids, and they seem to be working, now. If we come back, over here and look at this, we can see they don't have any kind of boost going. They don't have, any kind of, they're not, what is it, Dexscreener hot pairs, they're not on any of that, but yet they're still getting some pretty decent activities. You can see right here in this section, so moving back over to the channel, again, there's been constant activity, as I've continued to look at this, over between last night and today. I think they even touched as high as about 290, 300K today. So I think when you look at the chart and you can see, this balance between your buys and your sells, and you can see right here, yeah, I mean, at the peak, it looks like it's just around 310, 310K, but you also have to understand that people may be caught up, in this sell, in this retracement right here, or anybody caught up here, it could just be, as I mentioned before, as buys come back to a chart, where it really did, peak up high, and then it, hit some really bottomed out kind of levels. You got people that are trying to go ahead and mitigate, their losses, so there's nothing to go ahead and say for sure that this is going to continue to go up, so if people can go ahead and mitigate, those losses, maybe they were down, 50, 60, 70%, if they got buys that are coming in, what do you think people are going to go and do? They're going to go ahead and try to either break even, or they're going to try to, mitigate, however much they're in loss, or they're going to go ahead and try to ride it out. Maybe they're just, deciding to DCA, at these levels, just trying to go ahead and get more tokens, thinking that it may actually get back to these peak levels, but again, that's something that we don't know. Now, if you're somebody new and I'm talking pretty quickly, just understand you have the benefit of the video. You can always go back and review the material and the content as much as you need to. Some of these videos I talk, faster, some of them I don't, but I'm just putting that disclaimer out there to let you know that you do have the benefit of the video. So just go ahead and go back if you need to review anything that I'm talking about. So, but with that being said, we're going to go ahead and close this one out, or actually, you know what? No, just so we keep this one on our radar, we'll go ahead and set the alerts here. So this is saying 219, the tab's saying 220. We'll go ahead and set it at 220. All right, so we're going to go straight to market cap, and we're going to set an under and an over. Okay, so on the under, and let's go ahead and let's mark our posted market cap, okay, or found market cap, whatever you want to call it. So for the under, let's go ahead and make the under, 150K. Not saying that it'll trigger there, but again, like I said last night, I didn't think it'd actually go under 100K or hit 100K, but it did. So again, but that's what the indicator's for. We set them just in case. All right, so we don't have to babysit the chart. The alert can go ahead and watch, what's going on, and let us know when if there's a trigger that's made. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and create that, and then here for the over, we're going to go ahead and paste that in again. For the over, I don't know, let's go ahead and let's set it at 250, so it's not a big deviation, from where we currently are, but again, it's an indicator to kind of help us stay informed in terms of what the chart's doing. All right, so we're going to go ahead and close that out. There we go, and we're going to go straight into discovery here. So we're going to go ahead and go to the gear. We're going to adjust, because I don't like seeing, all this stuff. If anybody that's been, watching this series for any amount of time, you guys already know what I'm going to get rid of, so we're going to go ahead and get rid of price, transactions, volume makers. We're going to keep all the time frames, and we're going to remove liquidity. Okay, so we've changed, our configuration here. This is what I prefer to see personally. All right, and then we're going to go straight into the filters. Now, like yesterday, we're going to go ahead and take a look at all three, at least the three we've been covering so far: Solana, Base, and Ethereum. And obviously, we don't do anything over here on the Dex side because we've already got multiple chains selected. Market cap, let's go ahead and let's start out with our standard 50,000, because again, as I've told you guys before, if it can't touch 50K, I'm probably not interested in looking and exploring it anyway. All right, so we're going to go out to let's go out to 200, because yesterday when we went to 3 chains, we really didn't get a whole lot of decent stuff, which was kind of disappointing. All right, so maybe today will be different. I don't know. So pair age, we'll start out, with 10 hours, and we'll go to 120 hours. All right, so basically that's around a week. All right, and then we want to see a minimum value of 10 on the 24-hour change. Click apply. So what do we get? What do we got going on here? We got, sorry about that. We got almost 70 tokens. That is a lot of tokens to look at. Not sure what's going on there. Oh dear. Stop. All right, let's see. Okay, now I'm going to go back. Okay, so we're going to click on the 24-hour here just to go ahead and sort it, by the largest gains in that 24-hour window. And then obviously, as always, we're going to go ahead and open up some of these with the box and the question mark so that you guys, because again, for those of you that are new, I get you guys already know what this is about, but for those of you that are new, this is just me highlighting that more than likely, if you've got a box with that question mark, as I showed you right here, that's what it looks like. It's likely going to be a scam. So we don't see anything on the 5 minute, the 1 hour. We don't see any socials. So right away, I'm just telling you, that's going to be a scam. Or one that I'm not interested in paying attention to. Here, once again, we got nothing going on. No buy activity, no activity whatsoever going on in the 5 minute, the 1 hour, or the 6. Okay, so with that being said, we're going to leave that one alone, absolutely. And also bear in mind, this has been alive for a day. No token that's been alive for a day is going to look like this. This is likely a honeypot. All right, and then looking here, we got, again, no activity going on in the 5 minute, the 1 hour, and the 6 hour. And like I've told you guys before, make sure you take advantage of, looking at this informational area over here. I mean, it can save you the trouble of going into a Telegram. Now, granted, we're highlighting the fact that, the ones with the box and the question mark are likely going to be scams, but the same activity, the same exercise that we're doing here, where we're looking at the chart, we're looking over here, we're looking to see, if they've got any socials, at minimum a Telegram. We already know that if those things don't exist, why on earth are we going to go and spend any kind of effort or time exploring their Telegram? We already know there's nothing going on, so you don't have to go ahead and do that. And because there is so much data to go through in Dexscreener, there is so much. Guys, they are covering so much data. It's bananas how much you have at your fingertips with this. So you don't want to spend a ton of time. You don't want to sit here for 3, 4, 5 hours, looking through this stuff, which is why you're scanning your exercise, the stuff that just kind of needs to be commonplace with you as you're looking through this stuff. It needs to be quick, okay? So because you got a lot that you want to filter through, and then once you get, once you filter through it and you got what you want, then you can go ahead and spend a bit more time, in your evaluation, in your analysis, right? So we're going to go ahead and close this one out because likely it's going to be a scam. This one too, and the caveat that I want to mention to you, as I've done before, is that even if a chart looks like it's okay. So right now we're looking at the 1 hour, right? So let's go out to the 5 minute because it'll show us a little bit more in terms of what's going on with the chart. So we can see this doesn't look like a terrible chart, and there's always going to be outliers, where in this case, this is a base token, where we may not see socials, and I'm not saying that everyone without socials is going to be a scam, but I am saying that a large percentage, the majority of them will absolutely be scams. So, and all I'm trying to do is help you understand, do you really want to risk it? You probably don't, so in my personal opinion, you just go ahead and avoid those, okay, that look like this with that little, box, and they've got that question mark, and this is what it is out here. The box with the question mark, we don't want to touch those, okay? Now, if you are the risky type, and there are some of you out there that will go ahead and do this, anyway, sure, by all means, do whatever you want to do. But for the rest of you that would prefer to go ahead and stay as safe as possible, let's avoid those. Okay, so with that being said, let's see what we got left here. So we do have a bunch of tokens, and what we could do, let's go ahead and let's go here. Let's move this to 150, and let's see if we can get less to work with, because I don't really like to work with a big chunk of tokens. All right, we still got a lot. So yesterday we did 100K. I should have just stuck with the 100K like we did yesterday. This is much more manageable. Okay, we got 28. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and start opening some of these up. And keep in mind, if it's got any kind of derogatory language, it's not gonna be one I'm gonna look at. So anybody that's been watching this series for any amount of time already knows that. Okay, so if I see something where I think we might see some material that should not be or would not be acceptable for YouTube upload, then I'm obviously going to go ahead and avoid that too. Okay, And Frosty seems like, you know, Christmas token, or, you know, I get it's winter, you know, but yeah, that's not really where the volume is right now. The volume is in the inaugural tokens, the political, you know, politically themed tokens. That's where it's at, you know, so that's where we're going to go ahead and try to stay, you know, if we can, if we see those tokens, that's what we'll look at. Okay, so the 15-minute, you guys already know, for anybody that's seen me talk about these kind of charts before, I don't particularly care, you know, for these charts where you're looking at basically sitting at the peak levels, because again, at any point in time, you already know you got people that probably have a decent level of supply. At any point in time, they could go ahead and dump on you, and then you're already in loss, you know. So the only way that I would approach this, assuming that everything worked out in the Telegram, is that I'd go ahead and probably throw $2 on the chart just to go ahead and have a buy on the chart, and then I'd put that into Maestro. And if you're not familiar with utilizing a bot, Maestro is the bot that I recommend, that I've used, you know, for a year now, and it's given me no problems whatsoever. It has not been compromised in my experience, you know. So yeah, and the one time that they were compromised, they actually they refunded, or they actually paid out, you know, a bunch of their holders, you know, anybody that was using the bot, you know, in money, which you don't hear about any sniper bot doing, you know, but Maestro actually did that. So again, a number of different reasons why I think Maestro is definitely the premier bot to use, and that's the reason why. The links are in the description in every video, so that if you're going to go ahead and trade, which you always know, as far as the disclaimer that I have to go ahead and put out there, you know, we never encourage you to invest, you know, but I do know you're engaging with crypto related content, you know, so you're probably going to anyway. But again, the disclaimer still has to be put out there. But aside from that, should you decide to go ahead and engage in any trading activities, Maestro is the bot that I personally use, and what I've seen the most success with. So, okay, and you can go ahead and see that link, you know, in the description. But with that being said, they do have a buy dip function, which allows you to go ahead and set a threshold, and then the bot will go ahead and watch the chart for you. Once it triggers whatever threshold you put in, utilizing that buy dip function, then you know, it'll go ahead and it'll trigger. So basically, not only do you have the alert watching the chart for you, but you've also got the bot watching the chart for you. And anytime we can avoid having to babysit a chart, that is something I'm absolutely going to advocate for, because nobody's got time for that. Okay, so with that being said, we'll keep Gasper, and this is a CTO, as we can see right here. We'll keep it open because we do get a Telegram. I'm just not a fan of this chart. You know, so let's go and let's move on. This one bottomed out chart, even though I got a Telegram, so not interested. All right, we're going to go ahead and do this pretty quickly, you know, for anybody that's new. So this obviously looked like it rugged. You know, they got a Telegram, but this is not one we're going to be interested in. And then here for Decentra, again, another chart I'm absolutely not crazy about. We got a ton going on in terms of sells here. Nothing going on in the 5 minute, very little going on in the 1 hour, nothing going on in the 6 hour either. So we're going to leave this one alone. So here, another bottomed out chart, and they got nothing going on in the 5 minute. Again, when you're doing these scans, you want to get to a point where it's really, really easy for you to just go straight through them and not really spend any kind of time messing around, okay? Because again, there's a lot of tokens you can go ahead and filter through when it comes to utilizing this platform. Okay, so here we got DTJ20, so could be the start of an uptrend, you know. So we're gonna go ahead and keep this one. We do have a Telegram. All right, and then this one is one that I actually saw yesterday, and I posted this one to X as well, because even though we don't have anything going on, and this is one that I call on X, you know, because again, what I tend to do with my X, you know, community is the bottom calls, they're tokens that I don't have a whole lot of information, you know, about, or they're tokens, you know, where I'm starting to see a bit of a reversal. So that's basically what gets sent over to that community. And this is one where I saw this and I'm like, you know what, let's go and let's take a look at this one, because I think this one's like a 50-50 one for me, where it could move or it could do absolutely nothing. Now, from the time that I called it yesterday, I called it in an upper level. I think it might have been around 80K. Okay, so it did retrace heavily, you know, but what is going on right now? You got some buy pressure, and then it sold off, right? Buy pressure, sold off, buy pressure. So we're, again, the inauguration's on the 20th. To me, it doesn't make any sense not to go ahead and keep something like this, you know, on your radar, which is the reason why I posted it over to X. So, I mean, here in this video series, we come across a lot, you know, I put stuff on you guys' radar, and obviously there's been example after example after example of tokens where it's been on your radar either, or we set alerts for it, and the token either it moved right away or it took days to move, but either way, it still moved. So, and that's, something I continue to highlight as far as the legitimacy of this particular series, because we find stuff all the time that does pump, and that pump can be anywhere from a 2x to a 10x or more, and we've seen all of that throughout this series and multiple times in the first 30 days of doing this series. So, again, and if you guys are not sure how to go ahead and find this, because I don't go ahead and leave the particular contracts, in the description, all you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and take this 120.25, all right, copy it, all right, go into Dexscreener, search it, and all you're doing is just matching up, information, okay? Or actually, you can't go ahead and take that. Sorry, I copied the wrong thing. You got to go ahead and go up here, Trump Inauguration Day, copy that, okay, and then go over here, paste it in there, and then you're matching up the information. So it's searching, and you can see. This is G5VX, and goodness, the way they've got this link, you can't even look at that. But what we can do is we can match up the 24-hour and the 1 hour. The 24-hour, this is saying 59.80. This is saying 59.80. That's how we know that it's this token. So you go ahead and you click on that, and it should, bring back up, the same thing. This one right here, 0.92%, 0.92 on the 1 hour, same thing. So even though we see a different picture here, it's still the same token. I clicked on it, it's the same exact token. So just again, be aware that even though we'll talk about stuff here and I'm not leaving you the CAs, at the end of the day, that's all you're doing. You're going ahead and you're taking the name, and you're going ahead and you're doing the search, and you're matching up the 1 hour time frame and the 24-hour time frame. And that's how you know you got the right token. Or you should be able to see, like we can see it now, that this was the G5VX, and that's the same thing that we saw, when we did the search. So that's how you know how to find the same tokens that I'm talking about, and setting the same alerts, or just keeping an eye on it yourself. All right, so with that being said, now for this one, this is going to be one of those ones where, even though I posted it to X, the reality is they don't have a Telegram, right? So this is one where, based on how I found this, and this one, I don't remember. So we're finding it here, in Dexscreener, but I think I found this another way. So yes, we did see it here in Dexscreener, but I think, because there's a couple other tools that I go ahead and use, and I do think I found this a different way. So, but either way, the point is, keep this one on your radar. And this will be one of the exceptions where, because I always go ahead and focus on having at least a Telegram, but this one doesn't, but again, it's moving. So that's enough of that. All right, so we're going to go ahead and close this one out. And here we don't get we do get a Telegram, but let's see what's going on here on the chart. So the chart right now, looking at this one, obviously they had a really decent, rise up, to, we're sitting at 93K, and this is 93. So it looks like they went well over 140, 150K, so yeah, I mean, this one's already hit a peak. It's already been on a run. There's some retracement here. I think if everything checked out in the Telegram, I'd probably go ahead and set, an over and an under on this one. So, and obviously this is talking Trump, so obviously what is this? I said yesterday, it can't just simply be like a Trump, CTO or Trump 2.0. There has to be some kind of a derivative. It has to be something extra, for it to, get some tokens or get some attention, because there's so many Trump tokens that are out right now. Okay, so this one, who knows? I mean, they had some major retracement on this one, and obviously it's still shot back up from the bottom. Do I think it's going to go down again? Probably. I mean, because you're not really seeing a lot going on here in the 5-minute or on the 1 hour. But again, I'd say, man, if it's a Trump-oriented token, an Elon-oriented token, a politically themed token, it's probably something to keep on your radar, because I do think that once we get, within the day of the inauguration and on the inauguration day, you're probably going to see some of these move. Now, that's not a guarantee, but is there a high likeliness, likelihood that you're going to see, a lot of alts that are themed this way move? Probably, because everybody knows that, Trump has, a positive sentiment that he has been very vocal about in regards to cryptocurrency. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and move on. Here we go with Chill Tiger, and let's see here. What do we got going on? Chart, doesn't look, terrible, but here's my concern. My concern is we see very little, nothing going on here in the 5-minute, very little going on here on the 1 hour. I don't really particularly care to go ahead and take a look at this one, but we'll look at it either way, just because, there could still be a buy, within the 10-minute area. The 5-minute doesn't always tell us that, as far as my own standards, for what I'm looking at, where I want to see a buy within 10 minutes of entering that community. The 5-minute doesn't always tell us that, but because even if there's nothing going on here, there still may have been a buy within 10 minutes. So we'll keep it on the radar. All right, so here, let's go to 15, let's go to the 1 hour. And this is pretty bottomed out, so we're not gonna worry about it. Okay, now, since I've been talking a bunch, let's just go ahead and start checking out some of the channels, right away. This one, as you can see, there's already been some more buy pressure going on here. We'll go straight into Telegram, and we're gonna go ahead and click that so we don't have to constantly do that. Okay, and let's see here. So let's check our socials out. So so I'll tell you what, we don't actually get a portal to, well, actually, let's see what the chat is. Maybe that's it. That's really odd. Okay, I actually don't even like that, but okay, whatever. Okay, so here we go. The last buy was at 106. That was 3 minutes ago. Okay, so it does meet the 10-minute window for me personally. You may have some other criteria, but for me, it's 10 minutes. All right, so somebody made a 4 sold buy into this. So that candle that we saw, that was this one, and that was just one buyer. Okay. So what we're going to do, let's keep moving. Let's see. I do like, what they got going on here. I think it's kind of cool. Gasper. Okay, so play on Casper. Okay, and so no evidence of rating. And if we go back out, I don't know that I saw a boost on this one. So let me see. Okay, but they did pay for ads. Okay, so they paid for ads. But no rating going on, no boost. I don't see anything going on in terms of trending whatsoever. So here's my thought in regards to this one right away. Just taking a quick look at this. This is going to come down. I believe this is going to come down. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and we're going to go to the alerts. This is saying 91, the tab's saying 90, so we're going to set our alert at 90. Okay, so we're going to go straight to market cap. And here we go, 90K for that. And the only alert I'm interested in setting on this one is going to be an under. The reason why is because of where the candle currently is on the chart. All right, I'm not trying to go ahead and, top blast the chart unless, like I mentioned earlier, this is the only exception, in my personal opinion, is that you go ahead and you throw $2 on the chart just so you can go ahead and have a buy on the chart. Use the buy dip function, in the Maestro bot. Again, links are in the description. And then the bot's watching the chart for you as far as when it wants to trigger the threshold that you set for it to make a buy for you when it reaches a market cap or a certain drop in market cap, percentage-wise, before it will trigger that buy for you. Okay, so again, this is at 90, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to set, got it set an under. Set this for, I'm going to 50K. Okay, so I don't know if it's going to trigger, that low, but I think this is coming down because I don't see any reason for this to continue to go up. I mean, there's nothing going on in the chat, as far as how to get more exposure, for this particular token. So other than your ads, there's nothing else going on. So, okay, so that's what leads me to my own personal mentality that there's no way that this can stay up here. Okay, and so with that being said, we're looking here at DTJ20. All right, so we have seen some more buys coming on this one. So let's take a quick look. Good grief, I can't chat, I can't talk at the channel. Okay, so here we go, 111, and that's what I got on my clock. We're sitting at 97K, and this is obviously talking about, the theme for this one is strictly around the inauguration. So, and that's obviously, what do people do? They tend to go ahead and follow buys. So that's what's going on here. They're following the buys, right? So we do got voting going on at CTO Trends, so I've visited that, particular Telegram. I mean, they got some decent stuff there. But understand, even though CTO Trends does give them a bit more exposure, I've seen tokens completely just, die off, even though they've elicited the help, of CTO Trends, so just be aware of that. Okay, anything going on here? I'm not seeing anything in regards to a raid, not seeing anything going on in regards to trending. Okay, so they got a donation wallet, so we created a new wallet, anybody can donate. So what have I said before? You need funds to continue to keep a token going, right? And so for a lot of tokens, when they are simply relying on the community to donate to the wallet, that to me, look, there are times when it can work, but 95 or more % of the time, it doesn't work. Because again, people, when they're looking into getting involved with these tokens, I mean, a lot of people don't really have a ton of money. They're looking to make some money, but they don't really have the money beyond what they've already invested into the token to donate to a donation wallet. So, and I've seen so many tokens in my time and doing this stuff that a lot of people, that they just either, it's not that they don't want to do it, a lot of people just don't have it to do it, right? Especially when there's no guarantee that, by donating, that the funds are going to be spent the way that they want to be spent, that they're going to be spent in a way that's going to elevate the token, which in turn will also increase the value of their own bags. And on top of that, a lot of people sometimes running these CTOs, and this one doesn't, this one is, I mean, it's a CTO. A lot of people running these CTOs, you don't know if you can trust them. So how many CTOs have there been, where you had, you were asking the community to go ahead and donate to a donation or marketing wallet, and then the folks ran off, closed the Telegram, ran off with the funds, and your money is just simply gone. So again, all the stuff has to factor into your mindset when you're looking at this stuff. And like I said, it's not like people don't want to, but one, trust is a huge consideration, because there's so many, tokens out here that scam. I mean, it's crazy, what the numbers are in terms of, the tokens that are launched on a daily basis and how many of them are actually legitimate, which leads me to do what I do, not only through the Telegram channel, but through this series as well, as trying to keep people safe, trying to educate people on how to avoid so much of the garbage, out there on chain. So again, and what I've done through this series, I've shared with you a lot of my own thoughts, insights, my mindset, just giving you my lens in terms of how I look at this stuff. And this has been through so much time invested, in crypto. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and we're going to move, back out of this, even though they're talking about, raids, but again, there's no raid bot in here that I can see. Okay. So let's see, we're going to go back out. Okay. Here we are. All right. So this right now, the last buy was at 114, it was a couple minutes ago, so we'll see, on this one, but I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to set 2 alerts, right? So right now, where we're sitting at, we're sitting at 96K. All right. So I'm going to go straight to market cap and we're going to put in 96K. Oops. What am I doing? Okay. There we go. Copy that. And for the over, let's go ahead and set this at, 120K. All right. Oops. I forgot. I can't put the K in there. All right. And then for the under, so there we go. For the under, I don't know. Let's go ahead and set this at 75K. Now, some of you guys, that may be new or watching this and you wonder, like, how do you figure out, what you want to set your over and your under at? Look, this is basically like a wormhole. Okay. It's constantly fluctuating. There's no cookie cutter way to go ahead and look at, what your deviation from the found market cap, should be. I mean, you just kind of have to decide, do you want to go ahead and deviate a lot from the market cap, or do you want to deviate a little bit, from it? The alerts are simply indicators. They tell you what the chart's doing, so if I go ahead and I say this is at 96 and I want to set it at, I don't know, 45K, it just means that I'm thinking, and again, it's just my own thoughts. I don't know for sure. It's not a guarantee. But again, this is coming off of a lot of time spent and looking at a lot of tokens. If I think that, hey, it's going to come down a lot because when I go into the channel and I'm not really seeing a lot going on, people don't like stale charts. And the trading behavior across so many tokens is, if buy pressure stops on a chart, what happens? People typically sell. So I factor that into what I think I'm going to do in terms of the alert that I sell on the chart. But if they've got like everything under the sun going on in terms of a token, where you've got boosts going, both on Dexscreener and Dex tools, you've got you've paid callers, you've gone ahead and you're trending, on CoinGecko, you've went ahead and you've paid, ads. Like, if you've done so many things, like, to me, I'm thinking, okay, and you've got trending going on too. You've got all these different elements working together. And let's say that you actually have a really decent, name for the token, a decent theme, something that people can really go ahead and rally around, then my deviation is probably going to be smaller, but again, it all depends on what I'm seeing. You know what I mean? So yeah, again, I can't stress enough, there's no cookie cutter way to go about this. You just do this enough where you see certain things and you recognize patterns. And, like I say, you can have trending. Trending doesn't mean that your token is going to continue to go through the roof. Trending brings a short-term crowd. I didn't learn that on day one. That's something that I've seen time and time and time again, looking at a boatload of tokens. Okay. But is it good for overall exposure? Absolutely, it's good for overall exposure. So again, you do this enough, and that's what I'm trying to help you understand. When you do this, I want you to do it so often, repeatedly, consistently, so that you get to a place where you don't have to think so much about what you're doing. You just kind of recognize it, and you know what looks like a healthy chart. So I've mentioned this early on in the series that I'm a teacher. I've been a teacher by trade. I've been an admin as well. So the way I go about teaching things is I go ahead and I reinforce concepts, and that's how we learn. We learn through consistency. So I take you through the same process through every video so that you can kind of get a feel for how this goes. And through time, through repetition, you understand it becomes part of just, when you go into a token, when you go into a community, it'll stay with you. As long as you're not only just taking in the information, but you're actually moving it into the application arena, which means you're doing it too, right? So keep that in mind. That's kind of the process that I go through. That's what I'm trying to do in terms of the series and helping you understand, what to look for and how to also help you be successful and have a more positive experience, in crypto altogether. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and close this one since we've already gone ahead and set the alert. All right. Ooh, wait a minute. Let me go back on this one because I think I'm supposed to set 2 alerts, and I think I only set 1. Okay, so this one, we only set the 1. Okay, so I also need to set an under. So let's see here, 96K. And for the under here, I think we're going to go ahead and set this at, let's set it at 70K. Okay, so there we go. So we get 2 alerts, set on this one. All right, so we're going to close this one out and then going here to TNT. I do like the ticker. I think the ticker is kind of cool for talking Trump. Okay, so we're going to go into the channel. Let's take a look at what's going on here. Okay, so right away we can go ahead and say we got a VC going on, which with 2 people, it's really not a VC, but hey, from a place of optics, it's still better to see a VC with 2 people than not see a VC at all, right? And then we can see evidence, of a raid. Okay, so we are starting to get some participation, here in regards to this raid. We can see the progress indicator here. Okay, and let's see here. So this is something going on with X. Okay, and all right. So I'm guessing this is somebody part of the team. You're gonna start doing raids on Twitter. Get Finder trending. So that is a thing. So I've seen Finder trending. Get Dex ads, Soul trending, Dex trending. So they want to be like double and triple, trending. But again, what does that require? That requires money. That requires funds. Do they have the funds to go ahead and even do that? Who knows? Getting listed on various platforms, paying shilling team, Coles. All this stuff is money, okay, to go ahead and do this. And let's face it, there's a lot of these tokens that get started and they don't have the funds to go ahead and push. They just don't. I mean, it's expensive to do all this stuff, especially if you're looking at large large communities, large Coles. They've got, 5, 10, 15, 20,000 members that are actually active. So yeah, moving forward, let's see here. So I don't see any trending going on. We do see the raid, right? So let me see, let's go back out here and let's see here. And yeah, there's no ads, there's no boosts. I mean, so all they got is raid going, so you don't have a whole lot of activity going on here in the 5 minute, not a lot going on here in the 1 hour, so I believe this, even though this is where the candle's at, I think it's coming down because you got nothing going on to go ahead and push, in terms of increasing exposure, for this token. So let's go and set the alert. We're sitting at 96K according to the tab. So here we go. All right, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to set this one to 60K. So we'll see if it triggers. Oops, I need to go ahead and edit this because I should have been under. So there we go. All right, so there we go. Set that one. Not going to set another alert on this one. Okay, and this one I was really kind of hesitant about, and even more so right now. What am I seeing? Nothing going on in the 5 minute. We got nothing here, in the 1 hour. We'll check it just to go ahead and verify that there hasn't been a buy in 10 minutes, but pretty certain based on what I just saw, probably no buys in 10 minutes. So, okay, 122. Let's go ahead and let's see. Yeah, the last buy was, over 20 minutes ago. So that, and then on top of that, you can't even go ahead and send Well, let's see. It wants me to verify. So let's see if it's going to let me go ahead and let's see if it's going to open the chat. So, okay, so it says now I can speak, so let's go back out to here and let's go back in. I know this is just odd the way they've got this going on. Shouldn't have to verify this often, but let's see here. Okay, so yeah, okay, so now it's open. Okay, cool. But either way, last buy was 20 minutes ago, so obviously this is going to be one that we are definitely going to skip. Okay, so guys, give me a second. All right, so tell you what we're going to do. I know I've done a lot of talking today, and we have, we've set some alerts. I think because I've got to go ahead and I've got to rush off. What we'll do is, we'll go ahead and we'll end it here. As far as anything else that I want to tell you guys, again, there's a lot of you guys that go ahead and watch the videos that are definitely keeping an eye on the channel, keeping an eye on the series, but you're not yet subscribed. So this is a reminder that I continue to go ahead and push out every video just about that. If you're not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing. Love my subscribers, so love you guys even if you're not subscribed, but I love you even more if you decide to go ahead and subscribe. So please consider doing that, so you can go ahead and take advantage of alerts, any broadcasts that I send out to the community, and I do utilize those community broadcasts to communicate information in regards, to what may be going on with the channel, when I'm going to go ahead and be putting stuff out and so forth, so definitely go ahead and consider that. The links in the description, MaestroBot, keep an eye on that one. Make sure that you go ahead and engage with that, if you're interested in doing any trading whatsoever, because manual trading is just not the way to go if you're going to find any success in this, in what we do here, or in terms of the crypto landscape. And, beyond that, I just hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Try to stay warm. It's chilly in a lot of different areas, and if it's not chilly where you are, hopefully you're not out in California, just try to stay safe, so with that being said, you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.